Last one for you, Chris. Especially perfect to answer this, since your information is airtight and buttoned up, and you know everything, or you're trying to get to know everything, and you beat, as you mentioned, the players to the bubble by a week. Can you give a little bit more, I guess, background on how the bubble might be affecting everybody? I mean, Paul George saying that he was depressed, anxious, that sitting there hermetically sealed up in an amusement park and resort for as long as the players have, while the rest of the country seems to be burning. I mean, literally in the state of California, but we're talking about the streets of Wisconsin, what's happening in our world, how that void is affecting the players mentally and might have led to a lot of what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, I mean, just players, look, it has its obstacles when you're here and you're not around family, and, you can't do anything or go anywhere, So, that has its issues. And then you add, just the latest shooting of what I said, and you have to remember, like, players, they wanted to come over here because they wanted to keep the message alive. They wanted to keep the message on social justice. And I think when that latest shooting happened, there was a sense of helplessness, a sense of that, they're powerless. And, I equate it to just being, a cry for help, because they realized that, even though Black Lives Matter is painted across the court and everybody on campus is wearing Black Lives Matter shirt, is that to a large extent, even through all these movements, kneeling during the national anthem, is that Black Lives Matter still isn't mattering in certain places. And so there was hurt. The guys are dealing with anxiety issues, depression issues, and feeling guilt. There's a lot of guilt because they feel like, we're here and we're distracting the world. Because this is what it is, Rich. I'm sorry to be long-winded.
No, please. Go ahead.
But just for context, before the bubble was started, you remember there were protests going on all across the country, and this was the first time in my lifetime where I've seen massive protests featuring all walks of life, all different shades of colors, and that was beautiful. And you started to see cops being held accountable for unlawful shootings. That was rare. We rarely do see that, and so that was progress that was being made, and that was why some players were hesitant to come over, because they felt like it's going to take all the focus away from what has been a good movement right now. And I think with the latest one in Milwaukee, man, I think everything just hit ahead, and players who were dealing with just being isolated here in the first place, then you add that on top of it, it was just, I think that's all the things that led up to what happened on that historic day, which was Wednesday.